Loafer is a puzzle game based on a simple character position mechanics. After completing the tutorial, player will be challenged to escape 3 sections containing 4 puzzles each, which vary in difficulty as well as complexity. The main character, who is working in an underground laboratory, developed a unique skill to change its body structure. This can happen when the player breathes in toxic fumes, which often tends to come out from vents in the unsecure secret structure. This means that the player will be only able to morph near the particular stations placed on the map. Once the pawn is transformed, the player can use its abilities freely, regardless of its current location. The underground structure has many security systems. Those were designed to stop anything attempting to break in and, most importantly, escape. This is why the player has to combine a variety of skills of different characters in order to successfully escape. Many room entrances are protected by 2 types of gates. One is built from strong glass material and strictly stops anything from passing through. The fourth gate has tiny gaps in between, which allow some of the security systems detecting player from the other side. The mines are strategically arranged around the building, and some of them are capable of patrolling the corridors. They will explode upon detecting player being too close or upon receiving any damage. The explosion will annihilate anything in its range. Lasers are the slow killers, but prolonged contact might indefinitely stop the intruders and discourage them from freely moving around the map. Occasionally, the player will be able to enter toxic fumes in order to change its abilities. Depending on the color of fumes, the player will transform into a different creature. Human character is capable of hacking into all electronic objects, so then they can be switched on or off at any time. Psychic character can deactivate any security feature from a far distance. Q might place connection points on the ground, so then the character can teleport to their position. Drake cannot be detected by the enemy security systems and is resistant to any damage. All those abilities and effective positioning of morphing fumes allowed me to create interesting and complex puzzles. In addition, there are a few more interactive elements that can make some puzzles even more interesting. Press buttons can be activated in order to control other game elements. A pressed button will activate all cables attached to it. Any security system will get turned off if its all white cables are set active and all black cables stay inactive. Also, fragile shutter gates will open if they receive a huge amount of explosive damage. The main technical difficulties were mainly associated with the morph mechanics. A lot of information needed to be stored correctly in order to avoid losing connections to object references. The best approach was to store the variables related to the character skills in the character parent actor rather than its children actors. Another thing I had to watch out for was the unexpected interactions between different skills and game objects. I had to play with all game elements a lot in order to find interesting bugs. Surprisingly, fixing some of them allowed me to implement new game mechanics, such as double jamming the object, which instead activates it back. I tried to test each system and puzzle several times in order to create error-free gameplay with a decent flow. In conclusion, I attempted to create a puzzle game with a fresh idea of character position mechanics. I think that I achieved my ultimate goal by researching the market for similar ideas while designing something which occurs rather rarely in those kind of games. I made sure that all the game elements enhance the gameplay in several ways, and they're all error-free. I also went an extra mile with my puzzle ideas in order to design a fun prototype of my blueprints. Overall, I am greatly satisfied with what I successfully achieved during those 3 months of work.